How do you replace a heat exchanger in a Rheem unit? This is a Rheem/Rudd package gas unit, and I'm going to show you how to replace the heat exchanger today. And by the end of it, you should know how. You're watching HVAC Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad. Let's get started. Normally, to begin the installation, what you want to do is you want to shut the gas off, and you want to turn the breaker off or pull the disconnect. So the unit's got no power right now. I like to take the top off and this side panel, and then also where this flue exits the package gas unit, we're going to take this panel off as well. But normally we don't have to break up ice, but it's been snowing for the last week, so to get all this off, oh my, that's going to kill me. Be careful out there. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, let me get this ice off, and then we're going to get this top off. Alright. That's better. Alright, let's get the drill, get the top off. To take the top off for this Rheem unit, you're going to need a 1/4-inch bit, and you're going to need a 3/8 bit. And I'll show you why. You've got 1/4-inch screws, right, that hold the top on. And then in the corners, you've got these 3/8 screws that hold the top on. Also, we need to disconnect the wires for the outdoor fan motor. So I'm going to take the front panel off. We're going to get to those wires. All right, wires for the fan, pretty simple. Your black, it's one side of your power to your fan motor right there. Your brown goes to the F terminal of the capacitor, dual capacitor. Your orange goes to the common terminal. You could also put this on the common terminal, well, not common terminal, but the contactor terminal right here where the red wire goes. So you need to cut that wire tie and then pull these wires down here, and then our outdoor fan wires will be disconnected. All right, now that we got all the screws out of the top and we have disconnected the wires for the outdoor fan motor, they're right here. I'm going to take and pull these wires down so that they don't get snagged. And then I'm going to take the top off. You can see the wires are right here, so just pull them through. And then take the top, lay it right here. Woo, that coil is dirty. There's some screws in here that are connected to the heat exchanger. One is here, one is here, and one is down here, and it's behind that PVC pipe. So we'll have to take the pipe loose here to get to that last screw that holds this side of the heat exchanger in. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take and loosen the union. You can use a couple pipe wrenches. If you can't get your pipe wrench in there on one side because it's too close to the elbow, use your crescent wrench. And it's loose. Now we're going to take, move this out of the way. Now we're going to take this line off of the gas valve. So you may need to put a pipe wrench on the valve itself. Anytime you order a heat exchanger, order the inducer motor, the flue box cover, and the burners if they need to be replaced. Most of the time we do that. On this one, we ordered 3 burners. They only sent us 1 burner. So the other 2 burners are coming in today at lunch. So you're only going to see me replace 1, but know that the other burners are coming in. Also, we did not replace the inducer motor because it's working pretty well. But my advice, order everything for the heat side, because chances are the unit's really old that you're replacing the heat exchanger on, and you don't want to have any callbacks. So what I do for the customer is I say, I'm going to get you a price on everything for your heat side of your packaged gas unit. And then you can get them a price on a unit. You know, it depends on their budget, what, you know, what they want to choose to do. But this one, they wanted to go with the heat exchanger. So I understand. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this panel off and this panel off, okay? And we're also going to slide our blower out, because there's 2 screws back here we need to get to, and I'll show you those. All right, that panel on. There's 2 screws for the blower motor right here. We've already taken those off because we had to diagnose the heat exchanger, and we just left the screws out. Now in here, there's a bracket. I'm going to show you that bracket. You see that bracket right there that holds that heat exchanger? Well, there's 2 screws that hold that bracket, and they're right here. 1, 2. So we got to take those out. Now, see, this little bracket will come up and you can see it. See? You're not getting that heat exchanger out unless you know about those screws. All right? Now I'm going to take this panel off, because this has to come off. We got to take this 3/8 screw off. Right. Also, this panel right here. All right. All the 1/4" screws should be out. So let's get this one 3/8 screw right here. All right. Okay. All right. So now this is loose. We need to get this panel out of the way, and we need to take basically everything off of the front of this heat exchanger. You know, your inducer motor, your flue box cover, your burner assembly, your manifold pipe off of the burner assembly. So you may need an extension for your drill at this point. And we also have to take this PVC pipe loose and go ahead and take that screw out. All right, now we need to take the power that comes into the contactor. Go ahead and take it loose so that we can get this panel out of here. The wires that went to the indoor fan motor, they need to be pulled out, because we can't keep them in and try to take the heat exchanger out. Make sure you know how to read a schematic. If you do, you don't have to worry about what wire goes where, because you know what you're doing. If you don't, I've got a bunch of videos on reading schematics. I encourage you to go check those out. All right, now all these wires for the inducer motor, the gas valve, the rollout switch, the igniter, the flame sensor, all right, and the pressure switch tube. All these have to be ready. See? Pull all those through. All right, and then last thing we got to take the screws loose from this panel, and that's the reason I've got my extension. So there's screws along this panel. Make sure your 1/4" is in. There's one. There's another. Finally. All right, so there's that panel. You can just take and set these to the side. Now, I'm going to take this PVC pipe loose. All right. As I know, these screws have to be taken out. Oh. All right. It's loose. All right, now this screw, and then this last one right here. All right, now this will be loose. Now let's go ahead and take the burner assembly right here. All right, so to get those screws out, just take this right here, this manifold pipe loose. See that? Take that loose. Then you'll be able to get these screws right here and get those loose. Now, once you get that done, then you've got, see all that rust? Wow, that's a lot. Loosen up this bottom panel here that's attached to the bottom of the heat exchanger. All right, because we'll need to get this out of the way. That's in there. Now we're going to take the inducer assembly off. I'm not going to take the flue box cover off because we have got a new flue box cover that we're going to put on here. So that's almost it. All right, I'm going to show you the last step. Last step, we got 2 more 1/4 inch screws. Oh. 1 on each side. Now, this heat exchanger come out. And you can see the holes. Take a look. Look at that. Cracked all the way down. Cracked all the way down. And you got this giant hole. Here's another giant hole. So this is the reason we've condemned it. All right, now the fun part. Let's put it back together. Got a package of new screws that came with the heat exchanger, so that's always nice because a lot of those older screws are rusted. Now we're going to put this heat exchanger in. Before we do that, we're going to take and slide this bracket up here. All right, let's slide it in. Like a glove. Slide it up, and then we'll start with those 2 1/4 inch screws, and then I'll put the flue box cover on. And this is lined up right here. All right. All right. If it lines up, well, nice. We got a new gasket for our inducer motor assembly. We got a new gasket for our flue box cover. Definitely use the gaskets. Also, we've got this little plate right here where the rollout switch mounts to, because it was rusted. It was pretty much looking like a piece of metal. All right, so get your flue box cover ready. Always order the flue box cover when you order a heat exchanger. Please do yourself a favor. All right. You want to make sure you can see the outside edge of that gasket. Love these golden screws. Most heat exchangers I replace, the job's around $1,500, $2,000 if it's residential. All right, let me get these screws in. All right, line up the screws in the back for the bracket. I don't tighten them up all the way until I get both of them in place. There's 1, there's 2. Now, very important step. And the reason you want to make sure everything's tightened is because you want to make sure you're not losing a bunch of heat. Definitely don't want to lose a bunch of heat. So I'm going to line this panel up and then screw these 3 screws in over here, and then put the PVC pipe back in place. Sometimes it doesn't line up. Sometimes you got to wiggle it around a little bit, move the panel. Last screw on this side. All right, you want to put those screws in. That is definitely going to help it to be secure, and you'll know they're in because you'll see it on the other side. Now to put the PVC pipe back in place, and then over here put that back on, screw that back in. All right, slide the blower back in. Now this thing is very dirty, so we need to come back and we need to clean the indoor coil. It is filthy. And we need to clean the blower wheel. I'm not going to show that in today's video, but if you want to see that, let me know. We'll come back, we'll clean it, put it on video for you. All right, place the gasket on the inducer assembly. Get it lined up. That's it. Place the motor there. Alright, perfect. They only sent us 1 burner. We ordered 3, so I'm just going to replace 1 burner for now. Very easy to replace the burner. You just take the burner out, and you can see one side's open, one side's closed, so you know how it's going to fit in here. It's going to slide in like this. Very easy, but you can see these other 2 need to be replaced. We'll be back after lunch. That's how you replace the burner. Again, other 2 should be here pretty soon, but look at that. Man, that's just... Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, dude. All right? Ain't nothing but rusted. All right. Use the last few of our 24 karat gold screws. One side of the burner assembly. Other side of the burner assembly. Man, I don't even like putting that in there with those old burners. All right. Oh, we forgot to do something. I forgot to put in my little plate on the bottom. And that looks good. Look at that. All right, put the bottom plate in. It has to slide up underneath that other plate. All right, there it is. I don't see any screw holes though. Oh, it really has to slide up underneath there. Okay, all right, I got you. There you go. Okay, before you put your burner assembly in, got to put this bottom plate back in. Definitely should have replaced it, but it'll be all right. Burner assembly. All right, get that in, then we'll put the gas valve and manifold pipe. All right, orifices lined up with your burners. got 4 screws that hold the manifold pipe to the assembly. So make sure you put all those in. All right, now that we've got the manifold pipe attached, we're going to take our rollout switch out of our old little plate, and we're going to put it in our new plate here. See? Doesn't that look a lot better? Like that right there. So that right there is the rollout switch. If the flame rolls out, then that will open up. It's a manual reset. All right, now we're ready to put these panels back in place. And what I do is I take this little side panel that's got the flue attached to it. I take it and attach the first 2 bottom screws. And the reason I do that is because I want to get this in here. If you like the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe, and smash that bell. I really appreciate you watching. All right, see, now I got that panel in, and when I slide this forward, then I can pa-ching. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to get this panel in like this. And this part is really nice also if you want to take this panel right here to where it'll come out a little bit, because then you can get this in here. I'll show you. See? Make sure you don't cut any of your wires. See? Now that right there is lined up for us. So we can go ahead and put this screw in that holds that panel. There's 2 screws back here I need to put in as well. I'll go ahead and take and put all these wires through the holes they're supposed to go in. See? Ka-ching! These wires, they go to the inducer motor. So pressure switch tube goes through this hole right here. And it's just big enough for that. See, it goes right there on the pressure switch. Boop. And then these wires, see that? I hope this video helps you guys to be able to change heat exchangers, to know what you're doing. Once you've done it on one unit, you know the process, you know what has to happen, and you're basically just taking everything off of the heat exchanger that's attached to it, and then you're taking and loosening the screws that are attached to the unit, to the heat exchanger. So see there? Now we got all our wires ready to be connected. Inducer motor, gas valve, see? And then we got a couple wires to our rollout switch. Our other wires, before we put the top back on, they come through here. And you've got 2 for your limit switch, high limit switch, and you've got 4 for your blower motor. So all right, so limit switch, and then blower motor. Did anybody watch the video? Can you tell me where these wires go? Just kidding. They're labeled 1, 2, high and low. So high and low, 1 and 2. All right, and we got those 2 screws in for our blower. Now I can go ahead and attach this panel, the 2 screws, and then close this panel in, attach it, and then I can do my gas line. I'm going to go ahead and get those panels secured. Now we're going to put the gas line back into the gas valve. We got some True Blue pipe thread sealant And I'm gonna just cake it on there. Oh my, that's gonna get inside the gas valve. No, I'm just kidding. So anything I see that needs to be replaced, if the union needed to be replaced, shut off needed to be replaced, I would go ahead and get that done. Man, this is nice and tight. That's perfect. I want it to be as straight as possible. Now we're going to have to take the other pipe wrench and put it right here. All right. And that's so we can get it nice and tight. And hopefully when we do the leak test, none of these other fittings will have any leaks, because I'll have to take it back apart and redo most of these pipe connections. So gas on. Oh, we got gas. All right, let's tighten up the union. Back on site, had to set up a tent because now it's raining. Let me show you what I got. Went ahead and ordered the inducer motor. So the inducer motor and the two burners that they didn't send me are in. I'm going to go ahead and put the new inducer motor on, and this is the old inducer motor, so you can see it's probably time for a replacement. Just want to make sure everything is new. So I'm going to go ahead and install the inducer motor, take this plate back off to get to the burners. Took that plate off so I can get to the burners, unscrewed the old burners, and you can see it's very easy to put on the new burner. You see it just slides right over that one, and then you've got two screws to hold that burner in place. There's the three new burners. There's the two old burners. Look at that. Definitely time to replace these. Now if you're wondering how to wire this motor up, because it's got 3 wires, this one's got 2, you're going to take a look at the motor, and it's going to tell you to use, we're using 220 or 230 volts, and it's 60 hertz. So we're going to be using the orange and the black wire. All right, orange and black. All right, we're almost ready for startup. We got the 3 burners secured. We got our plate. Go ahead and put it in place. I do like to leave this unscrewed. That way I can see it light across all the burners. So I'm gonna leave that unscrewed. Got the orange and black wire connected, and they actually had the red cap, so that's nice. Make sure you connect the pressure switch tube, and then we're gonna go ahead and use some soap bubbles, spray bottle. We're gonna spray all these connections. I just seen a bubble. Oh, union's leaking. Need to tighten up the union. Tightened up the union. All right, so no gas leaks. Good. A couple things I like to do before I start up a packaged gas unit after I've replaced the heat exchanger. One is make the customer aware that whenever you install a new heat exchanger, it's got some oil on it. That oil is going to burn off and it's going to produce some smoke. So we want to make them aware, especially if we're working in a commercial building where they've got a fire alarm system. You want to make them aware because the fire alarm may go off. The smoke detectors may go off. And sometimes that can be a little bit annoying for the customer, or it can scare them. They can actually think that, oh, the unit's caught on fire because of all this smoke. So that's one thing I like to do, is make the customer aware. The second thing is, if you can take the supply panel off for the package unit, some of them you can take the supply panel off and you can let that smoke blow outside instead of blowing inside the ductwork and then in the house. That's something good you can do. On this one, can't really do that. You can see if I take the supply panel off, I've got the blower right there, and I can't really take this panel off. I've got these holes right here, which is nice, and maybe we'll be able to see some of that smoke. I'm going to go ahead and start it up, all right, because we're ready. So I'm just going to put the red and the white together and give it a call, R to W. We gave it a call for heat. Deucer motor's running. Pressure switch is closed. No fault code on the board. There it goes. Sparks. Ignites. Flame sensor picks up the signal. Flame rectification happens. Blower motor should run. And now we've got heat. If you want to know how to set gas pressure, I'll put a video down below so you can learn how. And there's the smoke. See all that smoke? Probably need to move my tent because it's going to smoke this tent up. But that's the smoke that will be going. Look at all that smoke. Wow. That's the smoke that would be going in the house. I accidentally flipped this and all the water came out and it went all over the phone, all over my pants. Yes. But it's still a great day. All right. That's it. Now you can see there's barely any smoke after running. So it's not going to smoke every time. You can let the homeowner know that. It's going to do it the first time you turn it on, and then after that, no more smoke. But that is something that's normal. Got a call for heating from the thermostat, so it's working with the thermostat. Also wired in the outdoor fan motor because we had to unplug those wires to take the top off. There were 3 wires. We got a black wire going to the load side, one side of the load side of the contactor, and then we got the brown wire going to the fan terminal, the dual capacitor, and then we got the orange wire going to the common terminal of the dual capacitor, which connects to the other side of the load side of the contactor. So you've got line, which is the power coming into the contactor, load, which is the power going out. And if you want to read the schematic, you see it says OFM. That is outdoor fan motor. Brown wire, F. That's the dual capacitor right there. So F terminal. Orange, common, C of the dual capacitor. And then black, and this right here is LAC, which is optional, so we don't have that. So it goes straight to that side of the contactor, which connects to the other black wire that leads to the compressor. So what is LAC? LAC should be down here, and it'll tell you what it is. It's a low ambient cooling control. So that's if you're running this package unit for cooling, maybe like a server room, computer room, data room, and it needs to run when you have colder outdoor temperatures, right? Low ambient conditions. And that'll basically allow you to cycle the outdoor fan and keep the head pressure up. Looks like the thermostat just satisfied. Woo! Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned how to replace a heat exchanger in this type of packaged gas unit. If you learned anything, let me know what it was in the comments. If you got a question, put that in the comments. And if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and smash that bell. Ding! So you know what I'm doing. Stay tuned to this month's giveaway. It's going to be an awesome giveaway, and I hope you win. If you want more information about the giveaways I'm doing each month, definitely check out my live videos when I do my live videos the first of each month to learn about the new tools I'm giving away, the new products, and also how to be entered into the giveaways. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. You've been watching HVAC Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.